Today I want to talk about something that is very important. I want to talk about the things that the youth need urgently. We've seen that most of the people, they will always resist transformation. They will always resist change. In every sphere, there are people that are always reluctant to any changes. Even if those changes are needed, even those changes, you can tell Guti, right now it is the time for those changes, but there are people that will always be resistance for no reason. Let me make you an example. Right now, if you're going into the retail stores, most of the time those retail stores, what they will ask from you is, please give us the points card, the cards that they first scan before you pay. Once they ask those cards, most of the people, they just look into their purses and take out the cards and they scan it. But there are people that whenever they ask for those cards, what they do, they just touch their phones and then they say, scan on my phone. Easy as that. Whenever you're taking a flight, the flight attendants, they will always ask for your board pass cards. If you don't want your board pass card to be in a phone, you can always present it and say, this is my board pass. Then you go. But for those who don't like to carry those cards, they can do it on their phones. And what they do is on the flight, they just take out their phones and then they scan the cell phone. Similarly, even the most important thing, which is very critical, like the card banks, most of the people, they still have to go into their purse to take out the credit card or the debit card that they will be paying in stores. But there are people that now, they don't have to go into their cards. They just take out the phones and scan the card from the phone, or sometimes they even tap the card, or they even use it for any payment system. Meaning that all the time there will be people who always resist the transformation, even if that transformation is due to happen. Now that I've said this, there are people who still believe that our country is not ready for driver's license to be on our cell phones. If the traffic cop asks you for the driver's license, we just take out your phone and say, there is a driver's license. If they need to scan it, because the driver's license, if you look at the back, you will see that it has the barcode. If they need to scan it, they can scan it from your cell phone, and then off you go. If they need to verify, if maybe sometimes the traffic cops, they do verify whether this driver's license is an authentic driver's license. If there is any other means of verifying those driver's license, they can also verify it from your cell phone. The image that will be on the driver's license and the image that you will have on your smartphone will be much clearer, much brighter, much clearer. Okay. It will be much clearer than the card, than the image from the driver's license. That easy as that. But for those who don't want it, you will not touch them. You just leave it for them to carry the cards. Similarly with the smart ID cards. Well, I don't know why they say it's smart. If it's smart, but it's not available on a cell phone, because the smart card also has the barcodes where you can scan it. Similarly, like the bank cards or the retail stores cards that you can put on the cell phone, you can verify it from the cell phones. If you're saying that we are late and it's too early for all of that, yes, you are right for you. But right now, if the banks, they can do it right now, and you say it's not relevant, it cannot be done now, you are right, because it shows that you are living in that era. You are living in the analog era. Yet there are people now who want to live in a digital era, whereby in a digital world, whereby most of the things can be done like that. If you say South Africa is not ready for the ID smart cards to be available on the cell phones, if you say that South Africa is not ready for the driver's license to be scanned, to be utilized from the cell phone, that means you are living in an analog world. You are living in a world where you're not accepting the transformation which is happening through the AI. If the banks, they can verify that it is fair and it's doable. If the retail stores, they say yes, it can be done. If the flights company, even the border gates, wherever you go, if they say yes, it can be done in your cell phone, and you still say that an identification card doesn't even have doesn't even give you that authority to purchase the goods, and the banks, they can offer, they can do it, but you say that ID card, identification cards can't be in a smart world. You are the same like for those people who it's hard to transform them, it's hard to change. So the question is, if the question might be, oh, but there are things that we still need to do as a country before we allow that. Those things that need to be done, to be thought of, to be discussed, do you think that those things need years or months, or it just need hours? If it needs hours, that means it can be done in hours. It can be implemented sooner than to wait for the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Why are we waiting for it? Why can't we talk about it so that the government can see that we need these things? Why I'm talking about this? I'm talking about this as a farmer because we as farmers, we found that most of the people who want to work the land, they don't have land. And the people who have land, they are hogging the land. They don't want to do the land. They don't want to give out the land. So all what I'm saying is we need to transform our agricultural sector. We need to transform the youth employment, because most of the youth now, some of the youth wants to get into farming, but they don't have land. They don't have a platform where they can produce organic food. Why? Because they don't have land. Yet there are people who have fertile land, who have plenty land, but they are not utilizing it. They are not producing anything from that. So in that, what we say is, we need to give the land, we need to hand over the land to the people that are working the land. If you have land, but that land is not productive, it's not producing anything, it's not helping the country in anyhow, you have to declare that the land that I have, what am I producing? How is it helping me and another person other than just you? If that land that you have is not doing anything, government needs to go to those people and say, please, can we utilize the land? Because you're not utilizing the land. Can we give it to us? Because eventually you are the person who's hawking that land. Probably one day or later you will leave this world, and then the land will be left without being utilized. So please give us the land. And then you take the land, you give it to the people who want to produce, want to do anything in this world. Let us not hog the land if we are not utilizing it. And two, let government, if they need to if government needs to uplift the upcoming farmers who wants to practice agricultural farming and all of that, let government give them that land, the land which is underutilized. Doesn't matter whether it is private, doesn't matter whether it is public or in Gonyama Trust land. If the land is not utilized or is underutilized, those people that have land which is not productive, it needs to be taken away from them and given to the people that will be producing the land. And those people that will be using the land to produce whatever that is going to help the country, and they must be given that land with the terms and conditions that if you fail to produce this land, if you no longer utilizing the land will also be taken from you. Let us make sure that all the land which is available for produce, for mineral resources, for everything that will be helping the country, let all that land be utilized. Let us not hog the transformation. Let us not stop the people who have energy, who have ideas, who have so many things that can help us to eradicate poverty and unemployment in our society. Thank you so much, man.